Hey everyone, let's get started. In this video, we are going to take a look at how we can utilize Unreal Engine assets and build our scene in Twinmotion. So to begin with, I'm going to start and choose Epic Games Launcher. And once the launcher opens, we can go to our library section or fab section if you want to get access to a huge array of free assets or paid assets from Unreal Engine Marketplace. And one specific asset that I'm particularly interested in for this exercise is called the Art Gallery. Art, Fashion, and Automatic Gallery. It's one of the oldest assets that were offered as a part of the Unreal Engine Marketplace. And now, once you add it to your library in Fab, and then you hit the refresh button, it appears here. So when you click Create Projects, it creates a new project above here, which you can access through the My Project section. And I'm going to skip this part and open our file. So once we open this, you have a lot of maps, and in my case, within the Showcase folder, Maps, and I have the Fashion map. That's how that's what I've opened here for our reference. And we are going to use this through the whole course of our architectural configurator tutorial. So how are we going to do this? Firstly, there are multiple assets and with multiple lights and multiple objects with glass, and we have these fashion models as well. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to dissect this whole project, this whole level into different parts, and we will export them in different sections. So for example, as a part of our configurator, I want to show you how we can configure this fashion mannequin here and how we can utilize and customize this fashion mannequin, change her clothing, change her hairstyle inside of Twinmotion. So I'm going to export this mannequin asset as a separate one. So what I've done here is we have created a new folder, and I have started exporting all these into different components. There's a really easy way in Unreal which allows us to export even blueprints into static meshes. And those static meshes can then be exported as GLTF files into Twinmotion. So I'm going to show you briefly what I've done here. So I go to the top, and luckily this scene is so well organized. So if you're talking about the roof structure, so we have all these geometries which are pertaining to the roof. So this is the roof truss, and this is the entire roof truss basically. What we do is, once I choose these static meshes, I go to Actor and convert actors to static mesh. And once I click that, I can choose a location and then give it a name. And there we go. It's created. I've already done it, so I'm just opening it to show you how it works. So basically, all the material slots are automatically added into this, and all the LODs are also added into this. And at the same time, we get this really high fidelity 3D model, which we can then import into Twinmotion. Similarly, since this scene is really well broken down, we can also choose other components. For example, let's say I want to bring in these cases, these display cases, display stands. I can also choose these display stands here, and please note these are all blueprints, but the best part with this actor convert actors to static meshes, it can also parse information through blueprints and convert them into static meshes. So this is what we have here. So these are the lovely display cases. Great. Now, how do we export it and then import it in Twinmotion? So I'm going to right click, Asset Actions, and choose Export. So once we choose Export, we can typically do it in two formats, which is FBX or OBJ three formats and GLTF. I'm gonna pick GLTF because this allows us to preserve all the texture information and simply import it into Twinmotion later on. And it makes it way easier because all we need to do is just go to Twinmotion and import it inside, and there we go. In one click, we get everything inside of Twinmotion. And I'm gonna hit save. So that's how I've accumulated all the assets based on how I want to design my configurator in Twinmotion. So now that the exporting process is done, what I'm doing is I am going to my Epic Games launcher, and I'm going to the Twinmotion part of Epic Games launcher. There are two ways to start Twinmotion. One is going through the Epic Games launcher, and then here we click launch. Or alternatively, we can right click and create a shortcut which adds a shortcut onto your desktop, and then we can launch it from there. So I'm using the latest Twinmotion 2025.1 preview because this is the version where we can build configurators as a part of Twinmotion. So let's wait for it till it gets started. So here we have Twinmotion. I already have saved our scene. So when I go home and I choose Twin Configurator, this is the scene. And there we go. We have our scene inside of Twinmotion. Some of the materials do not get imported into Twinmotion because the textures have emissive materials and emissive elements inside of Unreal Engine, but they may have to be rebuilt inside of Twinmotion. But then overall, you get the majority of the static meshes, the look and feel of the project can be brought in again. I have stylized and customized it a little bit here to suit the lighting system and lighting setups inside of Twinmotion. But then here we have the scene, and this is what we're going to use for the next series of videos where we go through building different interactive configuration options. So how did I bring this entire project in? So we click on the import button, and here we can simply hit plus and choose our file, and we can pick from here. So this is my folder with all the different files that I've saved as GLTF format, and I brought them in. And then the best part is some of them are set to origin point at 0. So what I did is I click on the specific asset and I understand the transform location. So let's say my location is, in this case, 0. I can choose these lights and I can look at the location, and it says 638 centimeters. So I choose the Z value or the XYZ value and then simply use the same inside of Twinmotion. So I click on these lights, for instance, and when we click on the properties, XYZ, we can look at it. I got it to the point 638. So this way I was able to rebuild the scene the way it was inside of Unreal. But if you are not going to customize, you can simply select all the assets inside of Twinmotion, inside of Unreal, and simply bake it into a static mesh. So that way you avoid this complication of replacing and repositioning the assets inside Twinmotion again. But that's it for this video. I hope this gives an idea of how you can migrate and bring Unreal assets inside to Twinmotion to build your projects. Thank you.